Let me ask you a question. Is your social media presence actually making you money? It's a huge one, right? Today, we're going to explore a completely different way to think about social media, not just as a place for likes and shares, but as a real, measurable driver of revenue. And we'll be looking at how Dakshraj Enterprise makes that happen. This really gets to the heart of it. That number you see, your follower count, is it funding your payroll? You're putting all this time, all this effort, and your hard-earned money into social media, but is it actually showing up on the bottom line? Are you seeing a real return on that investment? You know the drill. You get these reports, and they're filled with impressive-looking numbers. Thousands of likes, a big spike in followers. But if your sales are flat, what does it all really mean? There's a name for this. It's called the engagement illusion. And honestly, it's an incredibly common and expensive trap to fall into. Okay, now take a look at this. This breaks down the difference in thinking perfectly. On the left, you've got your standard metrics, follower growth, post likes, all that stuff. But on the right, you see what a revenue-focused approach, the Dakshraj Enterprise approach, actually tracks. See the shift? It's from just being visible to creating real value, like B2B pipeline growth and a measurable ROI. And this right here, this says it all. A like is not a closed contract. It's so simple, but it's such a powerful reminder of what really moves the needle in your business. It's not about being popular, it's about driving results. So how do you actually build a social media strategy that works? Well, it all comes down to one core principle, which you see right here, putting revenue over vanity. Okay, I know, high-velocity social ecosystems sounds a little technical, but what it really means is building a complete system where every single piece of content, every interaction, is designed with one goal in mind, to guide a potential customer from that social media post straight into your sales pipeline. And look, this is definitely not a one-size-fits-all kind of deal. For B2B companies, the focus is all on LinkedIn, using specific strategies to get right to the decision makers. For direct-to-consumer brands, it's all about creating high-impact reels on Instagram and Facebook. And for that pure, explosive growth, it's about knowing exactly how to use things like YouTube Shorts. This isn't guesswork, it's a disciplined 4-step process. First, everything, and I mean everything, starts with your actual business goals. Then, content is created that's designed to get noticed by both people and the algorithms. After that, and this part is absolutely key, comments and DMs are actively managed to find real potential customers. And finally, the data gets reviewed every single week to see what's working and what's not, making every campaign smarter than the one before. Now, have you ever heard of dark social? It's a really fascinating term for all those conversations happening in private channels, Slack, DMs, WhatsApp. And according to the data, that's where a massive 80% of B2B buying decisions are actually made. If you're not paying attention to that activity, you're missing a huge piece of the puzzle. And check this out. This is what happens when you put that kind of detailed, smart approach into practice. By focusing on these concrete metrics and tracking those hard-to-see conversations, this exact strategy helped a client add over $1.4 million to their sales pipeline. That is a huge result. At the end of the day, it all boils down to this one philosophy. It's not about getting the most likes or followers. The real goal is to engineer sales. Everything else is just a stepping stone to get you there. So, if you're tired of seeing social media reports that just don't seem to connect to real business growth, it might be time to think differently. If you want to start building a strategy that's focused on what truly matters, start by contacting Dakshraj Enterprise today.